Hello everyone. Today we're going to be building the Henschel HS 123 by Airfix in 172 scale. Right out of the box, things looked a little off. This didn't look like the kind of Airfix kit I was used to. There was quite a bit of flash, and everything just seemed a little old-fashioned. I can hear the sticklers right now saying, "You shouldn't be painting his jumpsuit olive drab." And you're right, I'm sure there's a much better color for that. However, I kind of vacillated between doing a really good job on this, doing the best I could, and just making a toy that I could hang in my kid's room. In the end, I decided to go ahead and do the best job I could on an out-of-the-box kit, only using brush paints. You'll see how well I did. I decided to take quite a bit of time on the pilot, since there's literally no other detail in the cockpit whatsoever. The nice thing is, things did seem to fit together pretty well, with the exception of the horizontal stabilizers. They're keyed in a certain way, so you have to get it just right, and they're a little wonky. The model required quite a bit of trimming and sanding and filling. There was quite a bit of messiness on those pieces. The engine was a little bit tricky. The exhaust manifold needed to fit just so, and yet it wasn't indicated exactly how it should go. But just keep experimenting and you'll get it. It's here, I'll admit, some of my files got corrupted, and so things are missing a little bit. I promise you, I did use a brush to paint those wingtips. Here's a little trick that I like to do with the wheels. It's nice to make them look weighted, and I've seen people sand them down to give the effect, but then there's no bulge. You can use the candle to slightly melt the wheel, or the tire, and then give a little bit of pressure to give it a bulge, and it'll look much more realistic. The problem is you have to be very careful to get it just right, because this is a very easy way to ruin your wheel. I had a friend actually ruin his entire landing gear apparatus trying to do the same thing, and I still kind of feel bad about it. There's always more masking to be done. The spats have these huge seam lines. I was going to ignore it, but they kept bothering me, so I decided I'd go ahead and fill them in later on. It worked out pretty well, and a little bit of putty goes a long way. The bombs were pretty bad. They were inaccurate, they didn't look like the type of bomb that should have been used, I forget the name, and the tail fins were incredibly thick. I probably could have worked with them and sanded them down a whole bunch, but this is one of those moments where I got lazy with the build. Sorry. Once more, I need to apologize because many of my video files somehow got corrupted. Unfortunately, you don't get to see all of the wonderful things with the decals, because the Airfix decals are actually quite nice. So, there you have it. Now, I have to say, I have been spoiled by modern Airfix kits. I really, really like them. One of the first ones I built when I got back into building models as an adult was the Hawker Hurricane Mark I, and it was really fun. It was really cool. It was an excellent kit, and I've just been really, really happy with Airfix kits ever since. What I didn't pay attention to is the fact that on this particular kit, on the box, it's an Airfix Vintage Classic. So there you go. I think it's an old kit that they repackaged, old molds, that kind of business, and it shows. You saw in the video there's a lot of flash, there's fitment issues, things like that. It's not bad. You know, it's not like the worst thing in the world. There are raised panel lines instead of recessed ones, but they're not hugely awful. I'm guessing what that Vintage Classic means is that for some of us, it might be a walk down memory lane. But for me, it just meant that the kit wasn't up to the quality standards that I've come to expect from Airfix. So, alas. But it was still fun, and also, this is the only model of the HS-123 that's on the market that I'm aware of in the 1/72 scale. And again, it isn't that bad. I'd be willing to bet that with some ingenuity, some creativity, maybe some scratch building and photo etch, one would be able to turn this into a prize winner pretty darn quick. And it's a fun little toy.